What's going on? We're here with a little PM hustle, and we're talking about your best year ever. What I want to bring to you this late Friday night is some tactics that can help you create the life that you want to create. Now, everyone that knows this, if this is your first time here, this is Glendon Cameron, your hustling godfather. And what we do here is we help people start businesses. And one of the things that we are going to do is start this year off correctly. So one of the things I want to do, let me go ahead and make sure that this is streaming live, is I want to give you guys a way to sign up for the text notifications. That's something I said I was going to do this year. So I'm getting ready to, once I can find this live stream, there it is. There it is. Okay. So what I'm going to do is put it under there. And for those of you that didn't know, all the specials are extended to Monday, the 6th. So what I want to do, get on the YouTube text list. So this is the list that I will text you whenever I come on live. So that's under the video. So we're going to talk about a process of becoming successful. We're going to talk about what you need to do to become successful. So this year, I want you guys to become planners. I want you guys to become planners. There's some interesting stuff that I'm going to do in regards to hustlers, kung fu, and all this other stuff as we roll out, because I didn't do a live stream the other day because we're still in holiday mode. A lot of folks are still off. A lot of people are still not mentally back. They're not back to work, and we about to get back to work, because one of the things that I'm going to do, and once again, all of the specials and stuff, I'll send out emails tonight, are still in effect until Monday. Now, one of the things that I want you guys to do is to become copious planners to make this your best year ever. Now, what happens with copious planning? One of the things I'm going to do probably this weekend is bring back some courses that's going to help you guys become copious planners. Because when you sit down and say, look, I have a goal, and you write your goal down, then you create a process. Because there are many people with the law of attraction that's just like, I want it, and they sit back with their hand out. We're not going to do that. I want it, but I'm willing to work for it. I'm willing to go get it. I am willing to build this thing up. I am willing to become a go-getter. I am willing to put blood, sweat, and tears into this, because 2020, you can make this your best year ever by straightening up some stuff and focusing and attacking your goal 5 to 7 days a week. Notice I said 5 to 7 days a week. If you consistently put in work Monday through Friday, you have your goals, you have your things all set up, you could chill on the weekends. That is if you work Monday through Friday, because if you put in work, you will get results. You will move. You will move the needle. You will move the cheese. You will start to produce results. You will start to make moves. Now, one of the things that I want to talk to you about is setting goals and mindset. And this is something that I see frequently. I was in the ClickFunnels Facebook group, and someone was talking about someone's courses, and they got tired of the dude talking about mindset. And mindset is so important that I don't think that it can be understressed. You must have the proper mindset. If you have a family with all of these generational curses, like all the women in your family had children out of wedlock, all the women in your family have 2 or 3 kids by 2 or 3 different dudes, that's a mindset. That's a mindset. That's one of the reasons these things keep happening, because it is a consistent mindset. Like, I'm about to say something, and it used to be really true, and it used to be mostly true of white women, but it's not as true as it used to be. It used to be you could date a white girl, you can have a sex with a white girl, and she wasn't gonna get pregnant. Now, if she was from the middle class, if she was from lower class, she would get pregnant on you in a heartbeat. But typically, this has been my experience dealing with white women, because the mindset, they were told that, hey, you have a kid, your life's going to be messed up. This is what they were told, so they didn't go out and get pregnant. Now, that has shifted, because right now we're in a society where women having children without being married, no big deal. No one really, a lot of, there are certain people who still care about that. Is their mindset. But there's just some women that you just cannot ejaculate in. You are rolling the dice, because they're going to get pregnant. They're going to get knocked up because they don't really care. And the mindset, stressing this mindset, this generational mindset, which starts with somebody saying that this is a way to have a good life, and this is the way to have a bad life. If you're going to have a child when you're 22, you have no career, you have no money, you're not married, you're by yourself, chances are your life is going to be hard. And typically, women who hear that from someone they respect typically heed that advice. But if you this is what my mother told me. And this is one of the reasons that I had to part ways with a lot of people in my family. My mom said, if you get some girl pregnant, just bring the baby home. And, confession time, my mother had 3 kids by 3 different dudes. Confession time, my mother's mother had a degree. She didn't come from that kind of family, but she developed that, as Malcolm Martin said, she was spoiled. And she developed that spoiled mindset where, even though she came from a good family, and my mother, out of all my aunts, she's the only one that did that. My uncles, they didn't do that. She's the only one that did that. And it's a corrosive, pervasive mindset of, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and damn the consequences. Francesca, lower class women are told to have a lot of kids so they can get benefits, especially during tax season. That's just crazy, but I've heard that. Fred, it said that before you bought it, right? I did not. I didn't say 8 months. Whatever it said, that's what it should have been. Because before you signed up, it told you exactly how many months it was. It shouldn't have been 8. It's what it should be. And Monday, the price of that's going up, so you got in on a good deal. Once again, the mindset. Like, let's talk about one of the things that so many people do is have a bad mindset. They'll go into something half-heartedly, like going back to the ClickFunnels group, and they were having this conversation. And there's some heavy hitters in this group who actually participate in the chat. I mean, people made 10, 20, $30 million in 1 year. And they were talking about who puts out the best course and stuff. And once again, you got so many people that don't understand business. Like, let's say you spend $300 for a course of mine, and in the next year you make $9,000. You came out way ahead. Wait a minute, the next year after that, you make $12,000, and then the year after that, you make $20,000. So 32, you made $42,000. A lot of people look at this wrong because they have the wrong mindsets. Mike Ely, the IT industry is making more millionaires than you could shake a stick at. What are you talking about? Is it worth it? I don't know what emails y'all sent, because I don't know what's your real name. Turf. Indeed, many females that are products of the inner city procreate in hopes of receiving benefits from their Uncle Daddy Sam for the entirety of their lives. All right. I don't know what's going on, because I had a few people email me about that. That's one of the reasons I extended the discounts. But I will be checking on that tomorrow. Going back to mindset. Fred, the price is the price. You knew what the price was before you signed up for it. Stop it. It shouldn't have been 8% or 8 payments. Once again, I made changes. But going on, one of the things that we should do is have the right mindset. And I'm going to put my email address, because, I had someone sign up for something, and I missed out on adding them to the course. It was my mistake, because I had so many to add, and I missed the person. And the person said the email address didn't work. I never got an email from this person. And this is one of the things that pisses me off when people do PayPal. They just lie. I never got an email from the person, and then I went ahead and I sent him an email today saying, hey, my bad, I missed you, and I added him to the course. Then he canceled his payment plans, so I deleted him and refunded his money. One of the things is, when you act dishonorable, you will be dishonored. A lot of people don't understand that your behavior goes out and brings back similar behavior. It's strange. You can't tell women in my generation nothing. They know it all, and you be damn sexist. Well, one of the things is, and this is mindsets. Going back to a good mindset and a bad mindset. A good mindset will lead you to have a good, safe, and stable life. A bad mindset will not. Polly Robbins, I don't get why people get mad at you whenever you say that success takes 2 to 5 years. College is the same thing, yet they have no problem going their route. I'm going to tell you why people have no problem with going to college. They don't have to pay out of pocket for it immediately. If they had to pay for it, their mindsets would be very different. Go out and get a student loan. This is one of the things that I talk about. I will be talking on the personal finance channel. Going out and getting a loan when you don't even know what you're going to do with the rest of your life, it's just a bad idea. Gotcha. That's funny. So one of the things that, I want you guys to do is start planning. Start taking pen and paper and start writing down your goals. Make that a habit where you're consistently planning your future. I mean, it is one of the best practices, one of the best habits that you can develop to start consistently planning what you're going to do. Planning, because I got all kind of plans. I think I'm going to change my studio. I know I'm going to change my studio because it's kind of blah. It's not really popping. So I'm going to change my studio. I'm going to start putting out things like the first business class will be this month, but I'm going to announce it and give people plenty of time to get in because I'm going to announce it 2 to 3 weeks before I do it. And the first business class will be a webinar on a particular subject. And it will be, it will stand on its own. You can take this webinar and do exactly what you need to do. And the business class will be part of the art of holding. So once again, there's nothing that's changed. The Christmas discounts are still in effect. And once I start producing this content, you will see the value. It will blow your mind how much value you will get. Now, one of the things that, it's about planning, because I have been through New Year's, like 10 years after this. And it's just that people, they get in that holiday vacation mode where they know they need to be working on their futures, but gee, it's Christmas. It's the first of the year. I got my bowl games to watch. I got family to hang out with. And you just can't, you can't fight this. You cannot fight this. I have learned, I used to fight it like, hey, let's go ahead, let's go to get together. People were like, they just, where's the link to the business course? The business classes will be part of the, well, there will be, good Lord, this thing's rocking. So, B School for Hustlers. So, go to B School for Hustlers and the Art of Holding, and that's going to include the business class, webinars on starting, running, and scaling your business. Yeah, if you wanted to drop that, I would suggest you go ahead and get, because essentially what I've done is I put all of the relevant courses together. You go ahead and get the Art of Holding. In the business classes, these webinars, I will be dropping one every month for the rest of the year. And it's going to help you set up and run your business. So it just makes sense. This week was and is groggy, man, but I got my plan on yellow pad and Evernote for 2020 already. Yeah, you want to write down your goals. You want to write them down. You want to have your goals written down where you can see them when you sit down at your desk. You want all that together. Also, just letting y'all know, I got a text notification list because YouTube's a hater. Go on the YouTube text list. It's under the video. Will the business course be in the service? No, no. The business courses are going to be like how to run an ad campaign or how to do personal branding. You know, these will be things for people who are starting businesses. This will not be part of because the service business, the goal is to get into a service business and within 30 days make $1,500 to $3,000. Because if you ain't making any money, if you ain't getting any results fast, you ain't gonna stick with it. So, you know, the business classes will be one per month for the rest of the year, and they will be talking about things that you do in your business, how to brand your business, things you should be doing if you own a business, and why you should spend money for paid advertising. You know, how to, because I'm going to create a Google AdWords course, how to do Google AdWords. Francesca, not me. I boycotted the holidays just because I need a head start. I'm doing taxes on the side now. And everyone's coming off and applying for refund and anticipation loans. Man, they already out. They already out there. They already out there for those loans, man. That's crazy how fast they got on those loans. But this is, hustlenomics. Because we're talking about the process of making this the best year ever, which is to plan your year, to have visions for the year. Like, let's say 3 years from now, you want to buy a house. Go to that neighborhood and look at the house today. Go ahead and look at the house, take pictures, better yet, take videos. And whenever you have a few spare moments, look at the house. This is the house I want. This is what I'm working toward. You want to spur yourself on. You want to create goals, which create pathways, which create the things that you will need to be successful. Because I'm going to tell you, the power of writing down your goals is so monumental. And most folks don't do it. They don't write down their goals. They don't have written goals, written objectives to activate your subconscious mind. So you want to write your goals down. And also you want to see yourself being successful. You want to see yourself living that life. You want to see yourself having that type of power. You want to see yourself going forward. Because one of the things that you guys have got to understand is a big part of success is writing it down. Well, a big part of success is knowing what you want. And this is why a lot of people don't write goals, because everybody likes to keep their options open. Keep their options open without making a commitment to anything, and anything can happen to you. But go ahead, write down your goals and figure out what you want. Like with starting a business, there's so many businesses you could start. And a lot of people trip up on that. Like, what should I do? What's the best business? What business should I be focused on? I don't want to be wasting no time. And I'm going to tell you, by absolutely doing nothing, you're wasting time. You would be better off starting a business that fails and learning those lessons about business than sitting on the sidelines waiting for the sure thing. The thing that comes with guarantees. The thing is, if I do X, I'm going to get a yield of Z, and Z is going to represent cash in my pockets. You're wasting time by absolutely doing nothing. That's your way. I mean, because if you start a business and you fail and you learn all these lessons, then you could apply it to your next business. So you didn't really waste any time. You've learned some stuff. You schooled yourself. But once again, a lot of people are just not going to make that move without any guarantees. That's one of the biggest waste of times, because, you know, Elandro Spears, books you've read helped you expand your horizon. I'm going to go The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph E. Murray, Lead the Field by Earl Nightingale, and Unlimited Power by Tony Robbins, El Padrino Spears. So those are the books. And once again, it's, you know, reading books is great. Educating yourself is great. Exposing yourself is great. But what you're going to have to do is take that knowledge and do something with it. You're going to have to do something with it. I mean, that's going to be one of the incredible things that you will have to make a change. You will have to be committed to taking action. All right, DNC Appliance Repair. It's a powerful book, because once you read The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, you're going to stop doing things that a lot of people, like, you'll hear someone like, man, I'm so stupid. You never need to say things like that to yourself. And they'll say it, and they really don't mean it, but the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between an active or an intentional order or none. Discipline Equals Freedoms, Field Manual by Jocko Willink. Lord. Loyal Determined. Those emails I received, pay $100 a month and get 10,000. Getting 10,000 hits on your website for $100 a month is pretty unrealistic. I mean, you know, if you hit a really good ad campaign, you can get a lot of traffic, but I mean, you know, that would be cheap to get 10,000 hits of traffic to your website for 1,500. That would be cheap. So $100, I'm not buying that. Here's the thing with Google Ads, and let's have this conversation right now. If you don't know how to set up and run an ad campaign, you're going to waste a lot of money. Google Ads is not a scam, but Google Ads has a learning curve. And if you don't know how to run ads, you're going to waste a lot of money. So, you know, also, we're going to get back to the foundational stuff. What are you selling? What are you selling? Do you have a website? Because someone asked a question in the ClickFunnels group. Whose course was the best? And this is what's so funny about it. And this, once again, a lot, you know, one course was people who like to be consultants, and the other was for people who want to make online courses. Two totally different things. It was such a, you know, Russell Brunson, the leader, the owner of the group, came in and was like, do you want to be a consultant? Do you want to create courses? I mean, it was such a simple thing that people were going on and on and on, because so many people have not set a goal to do anything. They've not set a goal. They haven't created a plan of action. They're like, hey, whatever works, whatever works. Loyal Determined, thanks for $5 super chat. Google Ads is kind of like Facebook. Google Ads populate up in Google. So depending upon what you're doing, like if you're a plumber or an eye doctor or a plastic surgeon, Google Ads are amazing for your business. I knew this doctor who was spending $100K a month on Google Ads, but he was making $1 million a month from Google Ads. And he was doing, his team was doing breast implants. So once again, you know, if you're a service provider, Google Ads can be amazing. D and self-appliance, Google Ads is the truth. My business got work today thanks to Google. See, you know, DNC appliance repair. But once again, you need to learn how to run ads. And like Facebook ads can be very challenging, and you need to run some test ads. You know, you got to learn how to run Google ads. And one of the biggest issues with Google ads is getting them approved, because your copy's got to be straight, your landing page got to be straight. So there's a lot of stuff, and this is why I'm going to do a Google ads campaign, a Google ads course in the digital education. You know, every month some news is going to drop to help you make money online. And with the YouTube course, like how to sell, you know, so many people are slowly coming around to the power of YouTube. There are people, I'm in the group with this guy, so I can't put this business out there, but he makes $200,000 a month Google AdSense, and he makes almost $1 million a month from selling his products. So dude's on pace for about 14 million. All right, Loyal Determined. Just getting on the Google call list, dial list, help my moving company a lot, especially the guaranteed service call list. Yeah, once again, you know, Facebook ads work really great for people with Shopify stores. Facebook ads, reaching out to influencers, buying shout outs. So, you know, you got to pick your traffic source depending on what you're trying to sell. And if you're doing a service provider, or, you know, there's a product that I'm going to start promoting on Disruptive Mail that's, all they use is Google ads, and they sell about 4,000 of these things per month, and they're $1,000 each. So that's $400,000 a month. So, you know, once again, you know, we're going to get into a lot of these things, you know, your best year ever, because if you're going to start a business, if you're going to put yourself out there, you've got to figure out traffic sources. I mean, you know, I've learned some stuff in this YouTube course I'm taking where they don't even worry about tags, and tags are their keywords. They don't even worry about that. This is how powerful this stuff is. So one of the things that you've got to understand, and one of the things you've got to acknowledge, is the power of self-education this year. You want to skill up, you want to self-educate as much as possible this year. You want to be putting as much as you can into creating an environment of self-education. Patrick, people are selling Shopify stores automated for $15K and guarantee 6 figures a year. They do all the work, you split the profits 50-50. Well, let's look at that deal, Patrick. So someone's going to sell you a Shopify store that they've already built, and they're going to get $15,000 out of you. And then they're going to get half of the profits of the store. Is that really a good deal? Think about it. Really think about that, because you pay them $15K a year, $15K to buy this store, yet they still get half of the profits forever. Is that really a good deal? I don't really think that's a good deal, because essentially what you just did is front them some money to start some stuff. All right, Black Caesar, Yeah, these planners, like my workout journal. I hit the treadmill this morning, and then I did legs later on today. And I keep, because the thing is, when you write it down, yeah, it doesn't make sense. I mean, once again, Patrick, stop looking for something that you just ain't gonna have to do no work. Let that notion go. Let the whole notion of I ain't gonna have to do any work. Someone else is gonna do this, because you pay them 15K, and the store makes 100,000, so you get 50,000, and they get 65,000. The 50,000 plus your 15. Who making more money? They making more money. UT, what do you think about DoorDash or Uber's a side hustle? It's a hard hustle, but once again, it depends upon what your situation is. If you don't have no money, do it. Frozen Creative, I'm making my list of ways to grow my biz in 2020 as we speak. Google AdWords is easier than Facebook ads. I would not say it's easier, because they both come with their complexities. What? You start a business in Dubai, you got to start something with a Dubai citizen, where that's, I would not be starting a business in Dubai. Dean, they're probably starting another business with that money, making another 5-6 figures in another business. I mean, it's just, to me, on the surface, it doesn't seem like a good deal. You get them 15K and you get 50, so you make $35,000 on your money, possibly. Possibly. I don't know. You're better off starting a service business for way less than 15K and making $30,000 to $40,000. But see, you're trying to find a situation where you don't have to do the work, and that's just gonna, it's there are situations where if you had $1 million and you can invest in this business where you get 6 figures, yeah, that'll work. I mean, anything that's going to give you a guaranteed return, a contractual, where they have it in paper that you spend X amount of dollars with us, we're going to give you this much, where you could take them to court and sue them. That's a whole different ball game. And anything that's going to give you a guaranteed return like that, it ain't going to be cheap. You ain't getting that for 15K. Anybody that's, I mean, you ain't getting that for 15K. Like, if you had a business that paid out $150,000 a year, if someone was selling that business, they would get 300 to 350,000 for that business. It wouldn't be getting in for 15K. So that's just, I wouldn't mess with that. But I'm a different cat. I don't mind working, because anytime someone sells you something where you don't, quote, have to do any work, you just give me this money and sit back and collect checks, I would be very, very nervous about that. Because what if you get checks for the first month or two, then they just stop? You lost your 15 grand. Because see, that there's no way to make them pay you. What happens if they breach contract, leave time? I mean, hey, Kelvin Davis, it's almost like someone's getting convinced of the passive income myth for not doing any work. Just watch a guy with a service business and junk removal. He says that 20K a month. 1-800-JUNK makes $1 million a day. 1-800-GOT-JUNK makes $1 million a day. That's 365 million a year. So 20K a month and haul off, hey, ain't nothing. I believe that all day long. 3 days in, people still trying hard to find the magic jelly beans that lead to the Bitcoin leprechaun pot of gold. They're doing anything to avoid the heavy lifting of being a producer. Man, BitConnect. You know, people aren't on Bitcoin. Actually, let me see what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin's been holding steady at like 7,000 for about 2 months. It ain't really doing much. Bill Master, I follow a guy who made 3 websites that generated him $600K annually after 2 years. He literally created the websites in his house and marketed himself. Man, there are people, I could believe that because there are like hundreds of people in the ClickFunnels group who make $1 million or millions per year. So once again, you know, Bitcoin, BitConnect, this is the year that you need to invest in yourself and start making things happening. Because like, I will stand on here. I was one of the few people who was talking about don't buy Bitcoin. Even though I had Bitcoin and I sold it, I kept telling people don't buy Bitcoin. Elder, took your advice and got into sales before starting my business. I've been successful selling cars for 2 years. Congratulations. Yeah, because once again, there's so many ways out there. There's so many people that will prey upon what you don't know. And a lot of people don't know that, like, if you put in some money, you know what's a good return? If you put in $15,000, you got 10% on your 15K, which would be 1,500. That would be a good return on your 15K. 10%. Because you just put money in and you're not doing anything. I mean, there's so many folks out there. Because, you know, this is the year that you're going to start your own thing. You know, I've been the anti-third-party platform guy. I've been no Amazon, no eBay. And, you know, this is something that's funny. Something weird happened with my eBay account, and they shut my eBay account down because essentially a PayPal email address that I put into the system, which I could not remove, I sold some stuff and all these people paid that PayPal address and the money was just in limbo. It wasn't in my PayPal account. And they went and it was just weirdness all across the board. Man, a lot of people were hating on me. I was told that I was crazy. I had this one investment guy. He asked me why I wasn't doing Bitcoin, and he was a trader and all this other stuff. And a lot of these smart people ended up looking like straight up fools when Bitcoin crashed, and it hasn't recovered. Because, let's see, it plummeted in 2018, and it went back down in 2019. 2 years. It ain't even gotten close to where it once was in 2 years. But people still believe that, you know, Bitcoin gonna save me. I mean, I got one friend, he's always like, you know, get rid of them dollars, get you some Bitcoin, get you some Bitcoin. And there's so many people who believe in cryptocurrency and the ability to keep the government out. See, this is one of the things about currency. How much faith are you going to have in something that anybody can create. Douglas Jones bought Bitcoin at 17K, sold at 11K. Ouch! Man, a lot of people took out second mortgage to buy Bitcoin at 17K plus. They got spanked because it hasn't even come close to that. And if they had sold at 16, they wouldn't have lost as much money, but they were holding and holding, and it kept dropping, and it kept dropping, and it kept crashing, it kept crashing, kept crashing. I started like patting myself on the back. I felt good about my decision because I thought I was going to leave it like at least 4 or 5 grand on the table. And I missed out on I sold at 18.6. So I missed out on like maybe $700. BitConnect, yep. I'm not gonna lie, I bought all my Bitcoin at 3K and below, and I forgot I still have it. I could sell it now and triple my money. Man, once again, and I made the comparison between starting a business or being invested in Bitcoin. And you start a business, you just have you have no control over the price of Bitcoin. No control whatsoever. Only control you have is when you buy it at whatever price you pay for it. And that at that moment, once that moment evaporates, the control goes away. Whereas with a business, you have so much more control. Jesse put 30K in crypto, could have sold at 100K, sitting at 8K. Good Lord. Man, that sucks. You lost 22 grand with your hard-earned money. I mean, it was just really, really crazy because you had so many people out there gassing folks up, and you still have people out there gassing folks up. Like, psst, psst, get some of this Bitcoin, man. Get some of this Bitcoin. Like it's a crack deal going down in the back alley. But, you know, everybody that I knew that made money wasn't messing with it because they were already making money, and it was just a good way to lose money. Now, if you had bought Bitcoin when it was like $1, oh yeah, you know, you're still good. But, you know, if you had sold at 19, you could have made a lot of money. You know, a lot of these whales, they bought their Bitcoins for pennies on the dollar. They were gassing me up at $30. That was crazy. There were so many things that were going on. There were so many people who didn't understand. I knew people who were buying mines and mining Bitcoin. Here's the reason that this Bitcoin got out of control is people saw it as a way to make a lot of money without doing a lot of work. Point blank. And if you get the mindset that I can make $1 million, but I'm gonna have to work for $1 million, you're gonna be so far ahead of everyone else because you can make $1 million. Start a business, invent something, create something, and push it. You can make $1 million. But it's gonna take work. It's gonna take evenings where you're gonna be so tired you ain't gonna be able to give big booty Betty the D. You're gonna roll over and go to sleep because you put in work. Oh, Omni and the Hellcat, he's working on his 15 minutes of fame like you wouldn't believe. I really don't have an opinion on the weed industry since I'm not a weed connoisseur. I think I'm going to go to Colorado and get high for the first time. So I really don't know much about my opinions are the people who were the founders in California, Colorado, Washington. They're going to be the beneficiaries of these explosion of weed policies around the country, because I think Illinois just opened up weed and I did 3.2 million their first day. I know, Kelvin. A lot of people fell for that because, like, you know why the United States of America can get away with it, gets away with in the world? We have the biggest Army, Navy, and Air Force. We have the biggest military in the world, next to Russia. And that enables us to do so many things. And another reason is most of the world is poor. 90% of the world is poor. And they don't have these weapons. They don't have all this. Black hipsters. I don't smoke either, but I have several affiliate cannabis sites. Once again, I mean, it's an emerging industry. I mean, there are going to be people who are going to make billions off of weed. Douglas Jones skipped the weed. Cannabis is about to explode here in South Florida. A lot of dispensaries are starting to open up. Feels like California in 2009 all over again. All right. Art Austin, Illinois is charged 65 to 95 for 3.5 grams. They hustling hard. How much does weed cost? How much does weed normally cost? I have no clue. How much is a 3.5 grams on the street? I've seen weed mentally destroy my cousin. 3.5, 25 to $40, 30 to $40. Okay. So Illinois is going hard. Gotta pay those taxes. The other issue I see is overpricing of the product, which is going to produce a bigger black market than there already is. Not the biggest, but the best. China has a standing army of 7 million. I don't think China's Air Force is big as ours, because all wars today are fought in the air. Whoever has the biggest Air Force is going to win. And VA weed is $25 for 3.5 grams. Y'all know about the price of weed all over the country. Look at y'all. Look at y'all. Like, I have no clue, because, I'm planning a ski trip, and I'm probably going to partake in some gummy bears, some weed-fused gummy bears. Patrick, is all about the exotic strands and vapes being sold on the black markets. Those are vapes killing people because of the high volumes of pesticides. Good Lord. I'm not buying a Hellcat. There are several people who have built channels on a Dodge Hellcat. Thanks, Cakeology, for $10 super chat. There have been a lot of people who have built channels on Hellcats. And there's this Bree STR. She's here in Atlanta. She started the channel 3 months ago. She's already at 50,000 subscribers. And all they do is roll out and, when burnouts, when you spin the real tires and create all this white smoke, and they just roll out in groups. That's all they do. Black hamsters. I have thoughts of doing it on video. Yeah, I'm not getting I don't really, it's a powerful car, but I just don't like them. If someone gave me one, I would sell it and take the money and buy a Porsche. I mean, but many people have created channels because of the Hellcat, like Tall Guy Reviews, Mr. Organic, Omni and the Hellcat. A lot of people like those cars. I'm not one of them. I mean, you know, Dodge has been reborn. They used to be rare. BMW M5 has a big following. M3s, oh yeah, that M3, a lot of people love that car. And older BMWs are going for big money because they're easier to work on. They don't have all these electronics that the new ones does. You can do both, Kevin. Dodge Barracuda's coming. Well, Dodge is being reborn because you got all these people going crazy over these Hellcats. I mean, you know, at least Mr. Organic and Tall Guy Reviews that put money in there, as everyone else is running stock. Don't sleep on Tall Guy Reviews. He has another channel with his girlfriend that's almost at 100,000. Dude's getting money from everywhere. You can burn 8 gallons of gas in 11 minutes going turbo in the Hellcat. I mean, you know, there's so many people, because, you know, one of the things I had to do was study channels, and I've literally seen channels grow from nothing because they have a Dodge Hellcat. That's it. That's the only thing that's like, they got a Hellcat, and they're just, you know, it's crazy. The Hellcat screams liability. There are none in this neighborhood. There is none, because I have not seen one. But a lot of people love those cars. No, I'm not buying the Hellcat. I'm not doing that. When taxes pass marijuana-friendly laws, it's going to be huge. Well, see, one of the reasons that there's a big problem is weed is still illegal at the federal level. No, I am not messing with the Hellcat. And I also think that's just a phase. It's going to die out sooner or later. Because, you know, the Hellcat, and they are expensive. They're like $70,000 to $108,000 for a Hellcat, for a Dodge. Because, you know, these guys be talking about, like, I pay $1,700 a month for my Hellcat. I'm like, good Lord. Yeah, so, you know, there's a lot to go with this weed stuff. In the defense industry, employees can't ingest marijuana products and oil. Hey, that's why you got to start your own business. If you want to smoke weed and not have to be worried about a drug test, you got to start your own business. Anytime a rapper mentions a car, it blows up till they they stop talking about it. Rappers can make stuff, once again. But I'm not getting the Hellcat. Because, once again, the whole culture. I want you to think about this. And I saw this guy. He lives out in the country. He lives with his parents. He lives with his parents. And he got himself a Hellcat. He lives with his parents. He's a young guy, like 21, 22, and he got him a YouTube channel, and he got himself a Hellcat. He's 22 and he lives with his parents. And I think the car cost $85,000. He has an $80-some thousand car, but he lives with his parents. Goodfellow Nail already make that, so I don't have no Hellcat. Now, if I get me a car to flex, it's going to be a Porsche 911. I'm not buying the Dodge because, once again, the culture. I want you to understand some of these Dodge Hellcats. How many rich people do you see driving these Hellcats? Not that many. Black hipsters. The biggest part of the market would be big farmers, CBDs, edibles. No, not smoking. I mean, it's going to be crazy what's going to happen with weed. It's going to be real crazy. But once again, part of the channel is the culture and the principles. And one of the things I've been talking about is not having car notes, paying cash for your cars. So, that whole thing wouldn't work like me. That whole Hellcat and, Now, Kevin Edwards, he bought him a Lambo when he was living in an apartment. But the Lambo, because, seriously, if I got a Lambo, that would help grow the channel. I already know that. I'm driving this old Hyundai Sonata into the ground. Ethan Troy, hey, here's a word of advice. If you don't have a way where that car can make you money, spending a lot of money on a new car is one of the worst ways to grow wealth. It will reduce your wealth. It's one of the worst things you can do if you're trying to get wealthy, because the interest alone. Black Caesar, what's so crazy about these people buying these expensive cars is a lot of them have car notes that's equivalent to a mortgage payment. Pretty much. Kevin Edwards did a video talking about how much was it to run a Lambo. He put $100,000 down in between his car note, which is $3,600, and his insurance, which is $400. He's paying $4,000 a month for that car. That's a mansion payment. Mad Max. Or people who wash their ass. Yeah, that whole van life thing. That just, it's big because people are focused on money. Because you could go ahead and drop $25,000 in the van and live in it, and you don't have to pay rent for 3 or 4 years. That money goes in your pocket. Because this one person, they broke it down. Because, let's see, they were paying $2,000 a month, which is $24,000 a year, and their van cost them $18,000, and they lived in it for 2 years. So you got all that stuff going on. Van life and minimalist channels are booming. I mean, they're blowing up. Instead of buying a car, I bought a 4-unit house. The mortgage, interest, taxes, insurance would come out to $233 per month, and the property's already renting at $36.50 with 1 vacant unit. Good man, Ethan Troy. You go ahead and get that vacant unit rented out. You're going to be cash flowing at about $2,500. Sound aside from my homie lives in a van and camper. His solar power. He has a shower too. As a BMW service tech, I come across several people with 6-figure bedrooms living in apartments with their parents, $900 car notes. That's insane. He doesn't smell like dumpster juice either. That's funny. There's a lot of people doing this whole van thing. But this is my thing. Sit down, figure out what kind of life you want to live, and go out and start a business that provides the income for you to live that life, so you ain't living in a van. I mean, that's how I see it. That's how I think it can go down. But anyway, flexing is extremely expensive. Yep. This is why Omni and the Hellcat had to start buying cars again, because his views and subscribers were going down because he couldn't stun anymore. So he had to start stunning. And he gets like $50,000, $60,000 a month YouTube money. So that enabled him to start stunning again on a lower level. My cell phone bill's like $260. I've got 3 cell phones and 2 hotspots on it. So with that, all right. So for you guys who want to catch the live streams, I'm starting to get on the YouTube text notification list. Link is below, and all of the specials are going on until Monday. So with that, I'll see you guys later.